Hello everyone. One Cowboy stand for freedom. This 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 is a very important video that I'm making. I'm hoping that you can have a little bit of patience as I try to do a little bit of educating. I'm calling this part 1, Lavoie versus BLM. I'm here on my ranch. This is a very important video that I'm making. Out here. I'm hoping that you can have a little bit of patience as I try to do a little bit of educating. It's time that we do something more than just talk about freedom and about defending our Constitution. So I want to educate, I want to teach, I want to let you know what I'm personally doing to defend our Constitution. First off, I'm going to just pan here and show you what this pasture is. This is just one of my pastures on my ranch. I don't know how many acres are here, 4,000 acres in this particular pasture. In 6 years, I've never grazed this pasture off. This is the first year that I'm turning out on this pasture. And that's going to be significant, and I'll explain why. But first, I'm just going to pan and show you this pasture. Okay, as you look around, this is my reservoir. Call this my Upper Kent pasture. A few of my cows sitting on the reservoir. And the range goes to those tree lines, those mountains over there. And it continues to go down to those tree lines that way. Looking south, goes to those tree lines there. And then from there, this pasture goes to that mountain right there. My ranch also goes up on top of that mountain, but this particular pasture is just this valley here. And daughter, come back over here. And this is the best part of my ranch. This is my daughter, Catrielle. She's my second to the youngest, and she helps me with all of this with the rest of my family. But my pasture goes up that way several miles. Again, a lot of acreage here. Never have grazed this off in 6 years. If you look, see the grass? Look how thick it is. Look how green it is. And we're in late summer. And so this is my pasture here, and this is part of my ranch. This grass, I own it. It's called my grazing rights, my forage rights. And these cows are fat and sassy and looking good, and got a few more of my cows down under some trees down there. I'm not very good with technology, but they're down there, and so let me move forward here. Put this back down. Hope you can see me. This is my dog over here, Diamond. Hill. Great cow dog. She's pregnant right now. Going to be her last litter. She's getting a little old, kind of like me. A year ago, she and I both got laid up. She got stepped on by a bull, and bull got her and broke all the bones in her back leg, and so she's never really been quite the same, but she loves being out here with me and my family and the cows. She loves it out here. I had a colt come over on top of me about the same time, and we were both feeling kind of old and broken up for a while, but it's good out here. Life's good out here. Now the reason I'm making the video, and this isn't about cows, this isn't about grass, it's not even about my dog, but it is about my family, and it is about freedom, and it is about the Constitution. I've never been crosswise with the BLM in all the years that I've owned my ranch here. Never had a trespass filed against me. I've never been over what they call the AUMs, which means how many cows I should run. Like I said, I've never run for 6 years in this very pasture here. The point is, they claim that this is theirs. And I claim that the forage right, the grass, is mine. And so let's go to the Constitution, our supreme law of the land. And this is the point, this is the rub, and this is the focus. In Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. And let me start by going back and laying down the intent of our founding fathers and the intent of the Constitution. Our founding fathers came out of tyranny, and they were really concerned that this land be a land of freedom. So they did several things. One of the first things they did when they laid out the Constitution was they divided the powers into 3 branches, and we all know what those are: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. So we have 3 branches of power. So they separated those. And the other thing they did to keep from having a centralization of power into a central government, which increases or decreases the freedom of the individual, is that they limited the amount of land mass that this central power could control, called the federal government. Because if you can control the land, you can control the food production, you can control the people. Now currently the BLM, or the federal government, lays claim to 1/3 of the land mass of the United States. Put that in perspective. You've got to put together the country of Germany, and you must combine it with the country of France. Then you better put in Italy, Spain, throw in Portugal, and then throw in Britain. You got to start throwing all those countries together to begin to get them close to the comparison of the land mass that the federal government owns, say that they own and control. Now, and in this land mass, they claim to have what's called exclusive legislative ability. And what they have done, they have combined all 3 branches of power. And I'll explain that. You have bureaucrats that sit behind desks, and they will write a statute or a regulation, and it has the effect of law, and then they implement that. And now that regulation is enforced by federal rangers who are armed, and they can enforce it. They're empowered to enforce it by lethal means if necessary. If a person gets crosswise with one of these statutes, they're then hauled into a federal court and tried by a federal judge. All 3 branches of power combined under one head. Now, none of these people, do we the people here over whom this is imposed upon, have the power of recall. In other words, we don't elect them. They are not accountable to us. And so our founding fathers knew that that was a potential of combining great power under one head. So they limited by the letter of the law what land that the federal government could control. And it's found in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. Let me read it to you. I've shared this before, but let me read it to you again. It says, referring to the federal government, it says, to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever in such districts not to exceed 10 square miles as may by secession of a particular state and the acceptance of Congress. What is that? That 10 square miles. Well, that's Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., the seat of the federal government. That's proper and that's appropriate. They go on. It says, to become the seat of the government of the United States and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be for the erections of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other such needful buildings. Okay, they limit the federal government to purchase only those lands needful for the defense of our country, docks, arsenals, forts, and other such needful buildings. And not only that, they can't take it by eminent domain. They must ask the state legislatures if they can purchase it from them. So in this very clause here, by that very sentence there, it acknowledges that the states are the owners of the land. And what happened was that in the beginning, these states, there's one other place that the federal government can exercise control over in landmass, and that's territories, and that's appropriate. It's in the Constitution. They have that right. And so when a territory was to be admitted to the Union, they were to come in on equal footing as the original 13 colonies. And so they were not to be less than. And so at the time of statehood, those lands were to be disposed of people of that state. And if you look on a map, you can see that that procedure was followed until you start getting out here west. And as time lapsed, as governments are wont to do, they like to hold on to power, hold on to wealth. And so they became slower and slower at disposing this land to the people as they are supposed to do. Until, at such point, they almost quit. And then they did. And then they says, you know what? This land is ours. And they said that we own it. And let me give you a little history on this. I hope you'll follow along with me a little bit here, because it's important to understand this. And it's important to understand so that you can understand who is lawful and who is unlawful. Well, let's actually go to what I'm particularly involved in here, and it's called grazing rights. Now, grazing right is a right that is established by prior appropriation. It is a natural right, and preemptive or prior appropriation is the legal term, and that's how property rights are established, and it's called common law or natural law. For example, I explain this to people to help them to understand this. We understand rights when we look at lines. See, rights are not granted by the government, but a person claims right. There's three things to establish a property right. The first thing is you must claim it. The second thing is you must use it. And the third thing is you must defend it. And I'll do a quick analogy so you can get the gist of this. Okay. We all know about lines. We stand at lines at the grocery store. We stand at lines at the DMV. We stand in lines at the movie theater. Okay. When you stand in line, you create a right. It's self-evident. That's what our founding fathers meant. Certain rights are self-evident. In other words, I'm the first from the line at theater. I have established that by prior appropriation. And so that is claimed. I claimed it. And as long as I stand there, I'm using it. I'm not giving it up. And so I'm using it. So I claim it, I use it. Now the third thing is I must defend it. Well, let's go back to use it. I cannot, after I make this claim, walk away because it's taking too long, and I go get a hamburger and a drink, then come back and the line is really long and say, hey, I'm first in line. No, what happened? I lost that right because I didn't use it. Okay, now suppose I'm sitting there first in line and the line is long, and in comes a bigger feller, and he says, man, that line is too long, and so he steps in front of me, and I can do one or two things. I can mumble and complain and step back, and in such case I have given up my right, or I can defend that right. Those are the two things. Well, what has happened? The federal government has come in and started claiming it. We have been here prior to the BLM being formed. These grazing rights were established, and I'll explain it to you. This particular grazing right right here that we're sitting on, all this green grass, all this acreage here. Okay, I bought this grazing right from the ranching family by the name of Ballards. Ballards bought it from the ranching family called the Heatons. Okay, the Heatons were some of the first settlers in this country here. There's nobody grazing out here. There wasn't Indians out here grazing on this. There was nobody grazing here. They come out here and they create a reservoir, or they take a spring, they come with a little herd, and they say, you know what? Man, there's good grass, I got some water. I am going to claim this as my forage right, my grazing right. And so they did, and they used it. And then in would come another rancher with some herds, and they'd make them a reservoir over here or develop a spring over there, and they would run. And sometimes we ran in common. You know, we'd have good waters, and they say, okay, I'm going to run 100 head, you run 100 head, and it's called running in common. And, you know, eventually as time passed, we put fence lines on all the borders of these grazing rights. And when we had conflict, the bigger guy come in and says, you know what, I know you're here first, but I'm tough, and I'm going to take, and so sometimes we fought and we shot each other over these grazing rights. Down in the central Arizona, there's a big old basin as you drop off the Mogollon Rim called the Bloody Basin. So we established things through blood, sweat, and tears. These grazing rights are natural rights. They exist sole and separate from any written law. The Constitution doesn't even give us these rights. We have the Constitution because we have these rights. And so here we are, sitting on these grazing rights, ranching it, and along comes the BLM, 1935, 1936, around there, and they look around and they say, you know what, we now passed the Taylor Grazing Act, and all these grazing rights now belong to us. And we have exclusive legislative ability over all these grazing rights. And we will now permit you to graze on these. Here we're going to give you a permit. And we will re-examine every 10 years if we want you here. And in fact, anytime in between those 10 years, if we don't want you here, and we'll change it anytime we want, anytime we choose, through our wisdom and our prerogative. And, you know, as ranchers, we kind of got bullied. We were negligent. We were uninformed. And as they grew, and they came in very softly, very kindly, very nice to help. They didn't come in with a heavy hand. Government never does when they come to take our freedoms. It's always to help us, always to take care of us. And they come in softly. Well, that's what they did. And they've continued to move forward. And so now they're claiming that this is all theirs. And so 1/3 of the landmass, they claim that they have exclusive legislative power over. No representation. That is not America. That is not in the intent of our Constitution, and it is not in the letter of the law. So this is the question. Who is the lawbreaker and who is the law abider? You know, I stood with Cliven Bundy, my friend, and his family, in helping them to get their cows back over this very issue. And, you know, I've never been one to try to cause problems. I didn't get in trouble in school. I always raised my hand. I always stood in line. To this day, I do not have a speeding ticket. So it's not in my nature to go out and poke my finger in people's eyes. But there's a time when we need to come and stand up for the Constitution. It is being eviscerated. It is eviscerated. We have lost it. Where does it exist? It only exists in the hearts of about 50 million Americans that understand it and have the fire of freedom burning in their breast, who's willing to stand up. And so many people, good people, so what can we do? We've been voting, we've been donating money, and the candidates always promise to stand up for freedom. Well, what did we do? We gave the Republican Party the House and the Senate. What have they done? Nothing, nothing. And you think we're going to give them a Republican president and they're going to stand up on the Constitution and they're going to require the federal government to live within the frameworks that we the people have given them, namely the Constitution? It's not going to happen. But this is where it will happen, because this Constitution will be saved. The principles vouchsafed herein will prevail. And this is me doing my little part. So what I've done, I sent a letter to the BLM saying thank you so much for your help in managing my ranch, but I shall no longer need your help. I shall manage it myself. And so I will no longer pay them the mandatory fees, nor sign the mandatory terms and conditions, because they're illegal, illegitimate. It's not theirs. I didn't buy it from them. I bought it from the Ballards from the Heatons. Heatons established it. Okay, it's not theirs. It never was theirs. They're forbidden from having it. Okay, so let's make that clear. The first thing, if you're going to stand for freedom, you better figure out where the line is. Who's legal, who's lawful. Now, this is the first time that I am going crosswise with the BLM. I've told them that this grazing right is mine. For 6 years, I've not been able to graze off this green pasture, 3,000-4,000 acres. It might even be more than that. I don't even know. And so now I've got water in my reservoir. My cows need some pasture. And they say, well, you can't turn in here. We've got a regulation on a piece of paper. You, Lavoy Finicum, cannot turn in here on this grass. We don't care that you've not grazed this off in 6 years. But we have on this regulation, on this piece of paper, that you cannot turn in here until October 15th. Well, by October 15th, my water in this reservoir may be dry. It probably will be dry. Then how will I graze off all this grass that is mine, that I pay for, that I fight every year to make my mortgage payment on? Everything I have is tied up into this. My home, my life. I spent my lifetime trying to obtain a ranch, to live like, I loved as a young boy riding with my dad, chasing some cows on the weekend and stuff. And I always wanted to raise my family out here and raise them like this. So I'm putting everything on the line. My home, my dreams, my ranch. But I'm telling the BLM right now, I'm saying to you, this isn't yours, it's mine. Leave me alone. I'm bringing in my few measly little cows, and while I've got water in this reservoir, I'm grazing it off. Well, I was very kind and polite as I talked to them, sent them a very cordial letter, and so I get a call last week. Lavoy, you going to turn in there? I saw some cows down there. Yes, Mr. Range Con, I told you that I'm not recognizing you as the owner of the land. I didn't buy it from you. I'm not paying you. It's not yours. My mortgage isn't to you, BLM. And I didn't buy it from you. I bought it from the Ballards. It never was yours. And so yes, Mr. Rangecon, I'm turning in my cows there. It's grass. It's green. I'm turning in. It is August, middle August. So I'm August, September. I'm turning in about 8-9 weeks early. So we're going to have to trespass you. We're going to have to start documenting. I got to make this. I got to account to my supervisors. I understand that. Go ahead and do what you want. This isn't anything personal against you. It's just not yours. It's mine. So here I am. I'm beginning to document me as this individual standing for the Constitution. Now, there's a lot of talking, a lot of poking holes in the air with the fingers, and very little doing when it comes to standing for our Constitution. Oh, if we'll just donate to the right candidate, if we'll just donate more to the Republican Party, or we'll get a Republican there in the White House, and surely, surely, it's going to all be better. That's crazy. That's crazy. Washington is not going to vote away power. For 100 years, it's taken them 100 years to gather in this landmass and to seal it down. They have complete control over it. 1/3 of our country, America. 1/3 of our country. And these federal rangers that run around here, they're armed. Military style. They got their M4s. They got their tac vests. They got their bulletproof vest. You know, you saw them down there at Bundyville or Bunkerville. You saw them pointing their guns at us. They promised to shoot us. Dan Love, you're one of the head of them. You're the point of the spear. You're the enforcement arm of this. You know, you're not a good guy. No way you're a good guy. Nowhere do you have authority to run around here with policing powers. Nowhere do we the people give you authority by force, by lethal means if necessary, to enforce these regulations on these pieces of paper. You know, what are you going to do, Dan? You and the FBI? There's my few little cows right down there under that tree there. You going to come in here like you did with my friend Cliven and say, we're taking these out and you better not get in our way? Well, I'm telling you, leave me alone. Leave me alone, leave Cliven alone. There's some tough ranching families up there in Utah. Stanton Gleaves by name. Now you have 3, Mr. Federal Government, that's willing to stand for the Constitution. It's the ancient law of witnesses. You have a witness in Nevada, Cliven Bundy. You have a witness in Arizona, Lavoy Finicum. And you have a witness in Utah, Stanton Gleaves. We have 3 ranchers that are going to stand and defy you. It's not yours. And, you know, breaking the law right now just by saying this. Just by saying this, it's what's called conspiracy to commit crime. And that's what you guys hauled that county commissioner into court with, Phil Lyman, and you convicted him. And he's going to face a year in prison possibly, and $100,000 to $300,000 in fines because of this very thing that I am saying right now. I don't care. You know, if you go to the Bible, there's actually a story I really love. You might be familiar with it. It's called the captives that were in Babylon by the name of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Three. Anyway, the greatest force upon the face of the earth at that time was the Babylonian Empire. Nebuchadnezzar, the most powerful man in the world. And anyway, he knows Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they're out there and they make a golden image, and they command everybody to fall down and worship the golden image. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they don't fall down. They don't worship it. And Nebuchadnezzar gets a little upset, but he knows him. He calls him up there and says, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, if you'll just sign these mandatory terms and conditions and pay your grazing fees, it's going to be okay. We can work, you know, and the music will play again. You just fall down. Worship the golden image, and it will be okay. And I love the response. He says, because, Nebuchadnezzar goes on, says, because who can save you? Because if you don't, I will throw you in the fiery furnace. And what God can save you from the fiery furnace? And I love the answer. It's great. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego reply, says, O king, we are not careful to answer thee. In other words, saying, you know, we're not going to measure our words. We're not going to be tepid. We're not going to be timid. You know, they're speaking to the greatest power in the world at this time. These 3 captives would say, O king, we're not careful to answer thee. Our God whom we serve will deliver us. But if not, be it known unto thee, we will not sign those mandatory terms and conditions. We will not pay those grazing fees. And he will save us. And if not, so be it. But we will not bow. We will not comply. We will not bend. America, stand. If you want to know what you can do, here you go. Stand. I'll let you know what's going on. I'll keep updating you. I want you to download this so it doesn't get scrubbed from off the internet. Then share it, upload it, send it out. And you can follow me here. You can follow me here. You can follow Stanton Gleaves and Clive and Bundy. Here I am. And I'll document this as it goes forward. They've called me and said, okay, we're going to have to start doing something. Well, we'll see what the next step is. Maybe they'll just leave me alone. I hope they do, because it's not theirs. Stanton Gleaves has some county commissioners with some grit and some county sheriffs up there. He ranches in 5 different counties, and those county sheriffs are standing up against him. BLM says to Stanton Gleaves up there, you can't turn out here in these pastures. And Stanton Gleaves says, yes, I'm going to turn out in these pastures. And the county commissioners and the sheriffs stand up behind him. Proper form of government, government closest to the people. Those county sheriffs are elected by those people. Those county commissioners are accountable to those people. They have the power of recall. And anyway, they back him down. Now, I've talked to my county sheriff here. I'm going to go visit with some more. He's been very friendly over the phone. I'm going to visit with him, shake his hand, take the measure of the man, see how deep his love is for the Constitution, see about his understanding. But whether he backs me or not, I'm going to stand. But he said some very kind things. The BLM tried to get him to give resources, the Mojave County Sheriff Department, man and power and stuff, to move against Clive and here recently, and told him no way. So good for him. We shall see how it goes. America, stand. The night is far spent. The Constitution has been shredded, but it lives in your heart. You know what freedom is and what freedom isn't. Stand, because when you stand, others will stand with you. And God can't stand with you if you don't stand. Once you stand, you can expect the hand of providence to be over you. Don't matter how it ends, it matters how you stand. This is Lavoy Finicum. One cowboy stands for freedom. See you later. And this is Lavoy Finicum. I am here at the Harney County Resource Center, formerly known as the Malheur Wildlife Resource National Refuge, and it is now the Harney County Resource Center. This is January 15th, about 7:45, and it has been about 13 days since the Hammonds have been in prison unjustly. That was the match that struck the fuse that put a lot of this in motion. And so that is going to be forefront here in much of what we do. And it has been 13 days since we have occupied this as a peaceful place to work from to restore our Constitution. What I'm going to do is, America, is I'm going to give you a daily update from the inside here of what's going on, what we're doing, and try to get the message out in another venue here. And so, I hope you understand what this is about. This is about all of America. This is about our Constitution. It's about requiring our federal government to return to the confines of the law, to deal with the things of the national level, to allow the states to deal with the things of the states and the counties to deal with the things of the county, to restore a Republican form of government. This land is special. This land needs to be free again. It cannot be free when our government has become lawless and they find no restrictions to their actions. They completely disregard the limits that we the people have put upon them, namely the Constitution. So we're requiring them to return to the confines of the law. Now, America, I want to speak to you a little bit more broadly. This fight is not just for the ranchers here that have been oppressed by the federal government in the destruction of their way of life, the ranches, the logging, but it's about every American citizen. It's about those of you who love this land. It's about those of you on the West Coast, the East Coast. Believe me that they are already restricting your freedoms in major ways. They're limiting access to the land. Once they get the ranchers off, they will then get the hunters off, and then your access to freely move in this country, in this land, upon these public lands, will be more restricted. Now, every day I will bring to you, maybe several times a day, anything that I feel is breaking and pertinent. And so that's what I'll do. You can follow this here on my YouTube channel, and also probably on the webpage, One Cowboy Stand for Freedom. Maybe I could just go back and explain how the day it was that we got here and how it happened, because I was one of the first ones that pulled in here. We came up here on that day to do a peaceful support march for the Hammond family before they were thrown into prison, not once but for a second time for the same charges. And the hour before the rally, Ammon Bundy and pulled us aside with a group of residents, a group of people that came up to support, and he took the time to go through the litany of all the things he did to get redress for the Hammonds. And it was extensive and over a considerable period of time. And he was completely ignored. Had tens of thousands of signatures turned into Judge Grassi. Judge Grassi's simple comment, not to him but to the world, was, "These are just crazies." Well, once the ability to get redress from our elected officials, this is what failed. This is what Ammon said. He said, and I'll paraphrase it because I'm just doing what I remember. He said, "I feel very strongly that if we allow to go unchecked this persecution of the Hammond family and do nothing about it, it will become the new normal for American citizens. So America, this is about your freedom, about having justice, equal under the law." And he said that we have to do more than just hold signs and peacefully march. Those are basically my words. But he laid out the plan an hour before the march to say we need to come here and occupy this resource center, this wildlife refuge that the federal government has placed here. He said that this is the place of which they base out of, that they've used to destroy many of these ranchers and these ranching families. And that, so we left, I left with Ryan Bundy. Ammon did the march with Ryan Bundy and a handful of others, and we drove out here. And I want you to know that as we came out here, there's a lot of thoughts going through my mind. There's a term called crossing the Rubicon. None of the generals in Rome were to cross the river, the Rubicon, and go at the head of their armies. But when Caesar crossed the Rubicon at the head of his army, there's no turning back. And I thought to myself, I've not yet crossed the Rubicon. I've not yet walked in and seized this federal facility. And as I thought upon this, I says, once I do that, there'll be no turning back. And as I pondered, I was driving, I was the rear guard, and we went across this great flat of frozen water and snow. There up ahead was a bald eagle, a large, beautiful bald eagle sitting on the fence post, watching us coming. As we passed, it lifted off and flew. And I said to myself, this is not about cows and grass. It's about freedom. And so I crossed the Rubicon. I'm all in. And so it is time to require our federal government to return to the confines of the law, to uphold the 10th Amendment, to put the states, allow the states to function in their proper role, to allow the county governments to function in their proper role. And so this is what we're doing, and I will keep updating you. There on my webpage, One Cowboy Stand for Freedom. If any of you have questions, you can post them there, and I can try to answer them. If I can get a chance, I'll do my best. But I'm going to keep you updated with what we're doing. Yesterday, Ryan Bundy and myself left, slipped out of here, actually 2 days ago, and went to another state, another county that is very strongly being pressed, not near as bad as here, but is ready to stand up and to ask the federal government to leave their county And so we were there to support and encourage that from happening, to happen. A very good meeting, some very good people. This is not to stop. This resource center is very symbolic. It is like their fortress, which they operated out of for many years, and seized the resources of Harney County. We have now occupied their fort, and we're not giving it back. It goes to Harney County. This facility, this compound, does not return to the federal government. It is the state of Oregon. It is the Harney County's resource center. And here we are to help the Harney County citizens reclaim their right to access to the resources of their land. There's many particulars that I can go into, which I will not at this time, but I'll try to feed those out to you maybe several times a day, maybe once a day, but to keep you updated. Thank you very much. And this is Leroy Finnick. I'm reaching out to you, America, asking you to stand up, uphold the Constitution, uphold the rule of law, and we shall catch you in a little bit. Thank you.
Alright guys, so we're out here at the FBI compound right now, and
abandoned me. I want you to contact Sheriff Gillespie, ask him how that worked out. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just passing on the message that I got.
Okay, pass on the message.
And I let them know everything that you said today.
Okay, please pass this message. If I don't have a constitutional sheriff here, and I'm citing a safety concern right now. If I'm injured, harmed, then a new sign's going to go up after I'm injured. I'm going to change this place to Peteville. Okay.
That goes double for me, sir.
Yeah. And anyone that is harmed right now, I need a sheriff here. And you're not rolling a sheriff. I have a guy that says that he feels threatened by my saying, be constitutional. So are you saying that you're not going to...
I understand, but the people that I passed the message on to are in contact with the people that are out there as well, so they're well aware of what's going on.
Okay, can I get a Harney County sheriff here? Yes or no?
I passed the information on to them.
Okay, I have you on a live stream right now, and I'm documenting this for all of our safety. Are you going to send a Harney County sheriff here to this dirt where I'm standing? Yes or no?
I passed the information on to the people.
You need to put me in touch with your supervisor right now, because there's a liability issue. We're about to own your town if something happens. All of us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm citing for all of our safety, we need a constitutional sheriff here to intervene, because this thunderhead up here, when I said be constitutional, he said don't threaten me. He feels threatened. I don't feel comfortable approaching him without a sheriff to step in and intervene for our safety and protection. We are protected constitutionally. I want no guns anywhere near this place. We didn't, and I specifically said that, didn't I? Right? I said come here peacefully. Huh?
We have sheriffs right here.
We do, but we need a Harney County sheriff. We do, and I not to disrespect these gentlemen. Yes, yes.
These are lawless police right here.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that. Here's the definition of insanity, saying the same thing over and over again. Okay, so what is your name?
This is dispatch.
Dispatch. Do you have an operator number or a number that I can reference for the purposes of documenting this call? Hello? I do business with people, not positions. Right? I am. Could I get your name or your operator number?
It's just dispatch. That's how we.
I need to specifically reference your voice to your operator number. Do you have an extension that I can reference? Because I'm going to hold you personally accountable.
It's just the regular dispatch number that you call.
The regular. I don't do business with numbers.
Some other things going on though. It's
Oh.
over, so I need to let you go.
Okay, no. Are you going to send a constitutional sheriff here?
I let them know. Thank you.
Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Sheriff Gillespie did the same thing. He walked off the stage when Cliven Bundy, asked for him to be constitutional, and guess what happened? That Sheriff Gillespie, abandoned everybody, walked away and left us at the hands of the federal government,
Scary.
Scary. I bet you Daniel P. Love's over here. You want to go see him? Huh?
You have a great day.
What's that?
You won't need to do anything. We'll fix it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I just request a sheriff in Harney County. There's something that they're really concerned about as far as putting a Harney County sheriff here. There's something that they're concerned about. Let's go down there. Well, hey, Deb, can you please stay close? Deb? Oh, there she is. Deb, stay close.
That was good.
they're bagging on Ken. Hashtag. Orange hashtag.
Don't wake up. Pop that thing it up. Right?
How's it going, man? How's it happening?
Good, sir.
Good to see you.
Gonna go talk to him, yeah.
Nice.
Lost your signal? No? You ready?
Hey, Thunderhead, come up here. Come here. Come talk to me. Come here. You guys will?
Yeah, what's your name, man?
Pete Santilli.
You know what
I said to this guy here, I said, be constitutional. You know what he said?
Hey, I'm John.
Hey, John. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Hey, what's your name?
Dallas.
Dallas?
Dallas Aaron's.
We're
Dallas
I
Aaron's.
didn't catch your last name.
Dallas Aaron's. Nice to meet you guys.
FBI.
John. Thank you, John. Yeah,
John.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Dustin.
John,
Schaefer.
this guy.
All right.
Yeah, John, I'm Ken, and we'd like to get a donation for all this overtime you're doing.
I would like that too.
We're paying you very well. You send it to Pete
As
Santilli.
you can see,
You guys know what we're doing here, right?
Yes, sir. Is it protest?
Peaceful. It's protest. Yeah, we're protesting.
no weapons.
We are, of course, hopefully you agree that we're protected constitutionally in that spirit. I actually called for people here from the local area. To come out here, no guns or anything like that. We're concerned about public safety. As you guys know, a lot of quote-unquote rumors circulating, right? A lot of stuff has been factualized, of course. But my first concern before we go forward here, that guy, when I asked him, I literally said, just be constitutional. He said, don't threaten me. You need to go have that guy tested for steroids or whatever it is that got him so amped up to where I said, be constitutional. He found that to be a threat. If I threatened him with the Constitution, I want you to take me right here now. And I'm not overly sensationalizing. You want to take me now? I did not intend to threaten anybody. This is not a threat, okay? What I prefer to do is to speak to a sheriff here. I've requested a sheriff.
Did he show up?
He didn't show up, no.
All right.
No.
Yeah, he's not here, so.
Okay. Well, is he not here because you guys are in charge? Because this is what I've been told. Are you?
We're supporting the sheriff. You know, if he needs our help.
He
we're here
keeps
to help.
deferring to you. He told the public that you guys are in charge of the investigation, okay? That investigation, pardon me?
You'll have to ask him.
Hey, can y'all turn the technology off so our screen don't
somebody
go
hold
gray?
Can you hold this?
Our screen went gray on us.
Oh, really? Our jamming equipment?
Yeah, y'all jamming. Exactly. We really appreciate it.
So I wanted to get this out of the way. So basically, we have a situation here, and I understand you're providing support. Okay, we want you to stop providing support because your support covertly is more harmful to this community. All of your covert activity, your surveillance. We understand the technology that you have in your trailers could blast everybody's freaking brains right here. And if you don't believe me, I can show you the patents. Okay, we want you to stop doing that. Your psychological warfare being perpetrated upon this local population needs to stop. Are you in the chain of command? Can you stop doing that?
Well, what we'll do is we'll pass on everything you've got to say, and
To who? Loretta Lynch?
people who are above us.
Okay.
And that's
We want you to.
be our decision.
We want you guys to stop. I mean, it's really a reasonable request. We're Americans here. As a matter of fact, I want to encourage you guys to understand where we're coming from here. You know what we don't want? I don't know of anyone in the Patriot community, and nor would I ever associate myself with anybody that would ever want to intentionally bring harm, to intimidate, to follow you guys and do all that stuff. Huh? We don't want that. And I think they've made that really clear. The Patriots, Pacific Patriots Network, they've been out. They've been interfacing with you guys. Say, you know what? We want neutrality. We want peace and security. But this stuff still goes on. It really, really does. Whoever is doing it, whoever's calling for this covert activity, whoever is perpetrating electronic, psychological warfare on this community, stop it. Stop. Go. You know what? Can you do me a favor? You're not in the chain of command. Listen to me. Come here.
Like you say, I'm not in the chain of command.
You're not in the chain of command. You know what I want you to do then? Go freaking unplug those machines that are blasting signals out.
Machines.
We don't have any machines, right?
Is your screen working?
Is my screen working? Of course it is. You shut that thing down, you're going to be in trouble. Obviously, I have a First Amendment right. A lot of people are relying upon this interaction here. It needs to be peaceful. It needs to be appropriate. Stop your covert warfare. I'd rather have you reactivate Janet Reno. Bring the tanks. At least we can see what you're doing to this community. Okay? I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to say this just like the Pacific Patriots Network said. We don't want harm to anyone, including people of law enforcement. We don't want any harm to anybody.
We feel the same way.
Okay, then go get the sheriff. Get your SUV. Let's go get the sheriff and get his ass out there and start talking to people.
You know, one thing I'd like to say is that's what we want here is a peaceful resolution of this. Nobody to get hurt. So let's put it right there.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Actually, you know what? The sheriff needs to be involved in this conversation, does he not?
That's, it's above my pay grade, but I want you to know that that's what we've got in common here.
Okay.
I think we've all gotten it in common. We don't want anybody to get hurt.
Okay,
We want a peaceful resolution.
then there's no reason for you guys to be here. Just pack your shit up and go.
Well, as soon as this thing's resolved, we're out.
How are you resolving it by even being here?
We're just here to maintain.
You have no power.
You're here to maintain
Peace and order. That's why we're here.
You're here to maintain peace and order?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of overly redundant, don't you think?
And
That
like I
there's.
said, one thing, we don't want to have any misconceptions about that. That's why we're here.
Yes, sir.
And I agree. Can I shake your hand? We're peaceful.
Why are people being followed? I mean, I don't have a problem. You guys are following me. I've been talking to sheriffs. You guys can follow me all day long. I'm lawful. I'm constitutional. I'm 10 and 2. I go the speed limit. You can follow me. You know who I fear for? It's the people that don't even know that they're being followed. All of this surveillance and all of this stuff is so unnecessary. The people are operating in such tremendous fear. Is that coming from the judge or is that coming from you guys? Well, that's my concern.
Yeah, one thing I just want to say is that we're not here to put anybody in fear. We're good people, and we consider ourselves patriots. We're Americans, just like you guys are.
I hope so, and I've actually been trying to give you guys the benefit of the doubt.
With time and patience, that we can really resolve this thing peacefully, and that's why we're here to listen.
We
want to
can't,
pass
but
on everything you guys have got to say. We want to pass it on and let folks know.
What does he say about locals getting texts from the sheriff's department saying that the area is out of control?
Oh yeah, that's right. We actually have texts. We do. I mean, here I am. Am I tattletaling at this point in time?
No, you don't have to say from who.
No, not on the person, but this is coming. I don't know where it's coming from. We're getting texts because there was a person that was outside of the compound over there at the sheriff's department, big lights, and there was a text and an interchange, and the sheriff's department indicated that the FBI is out of control. Who is controlling that compound? Who's locking that whole place down? Nobody's going to go there.
Why would the sheriff say
and bring
that
me
if you
harm.
guys don't
Why
have
would
any
they be
authority?
blaming you guys? I'm wondering.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That again, I said I'm not privy to everything that's going on in this whole situation.
Okay.
But I'm telling you here, what we're here for is the airport. Is just to maintain peace and order. We're not here to intimidate or threaten anybody. And like I said, we really do want a peaceful resolution of this. I just want to assure you of that.
Okay, then why did this thunderhead say don't threaten me?
One thing I'll do is we respect your position, and if anybody's done anything to offend you,
Offend me? No, I wasn't offended by it. I'm kind of concerned. This guy wants to. He's got an AR strapped up. I said be constitutional. He said don't threaten me. Can we drug test this? Let's drug test this guy because I think he's pumped up on too much freaking unauthorized steroid use. Okay, this guy's fired up. We came here in peace. Okay, I'm a wise ass. Hey, let me ask this guy. Do you have control over getting me off the terror watch list? I was driving down the road, okay? And my local,
Are you on it?
my local police chief. I'm driving through Newtown, Ohio. I was on my way out here. They thought I was leaving. He ran my plates, pulls me over, okay? And anyways, long story short, I'm on the terror watch list. Why? Can I either get off of it or can you guys just take me? You want to take me now?
one thing I'd like to say.
You want that guy to shoot me?
Where's the fellow that had the dog at me? The fellow with dog Abby. You know, one thing, and I think you agree with this, we've got, all of us here have a lot more in common than we have that divides us. And I think talking is the way to resolve this.
Sir, you know what? You know what I
we're all
really
Americans, we're all
genuinely want.
patriots.
This is what I genuinely want to ask for, is that even those good patriots that are working for the FBI, the federal government, the DHS, whoever it is, to join us in this constitutional spirit. You know we're in trouble as a nation.
Well,
Okay?
you're former military.
I am. I'm with the United States Marine, absolutely.
Marine Corps myself.
Yes, sir.
And one thing I would say, we've got a lot in common here, and we can resolve this. I mean, it can be resolved peacefully, and we're all Americans. And the First Amendment that you guys are exercising,
Yes, sir.
freedom of speech, is a great way to resolve this.
Right,
peacefully and with talk.
But here, we're overt. We are openly expressing ourselves, and we'll always do that. I'm totally transparent. If you ever want to know about me, tune in to the Pete Santilli Show. If you want to know what I'm all about, and I say that not to advertise. I'm saying if you want to know what we're about, we're concerned about our country. We want you to join us in the spirit. We're in trouble. What I'm more concerned about is the covert stuff that's going on. Where's it coming from? Okay. I'm telling you right now, these people, I've heard from a very large majority of people that are very fearful about buzzing around in this town. It's coming from the judge. I was escorted out of one of his meetings, okay? This judge, we're going to dig into him. Why am I having to dig into the judge? Are you guys conducting an investigation? Can we go down and put him in cuffs if he's broken the law? I'll make a citizen's arrest. Let's do that. I want to end all of this, do it peacefully. Can we also request that you guys don't bring any harm to the good? I'm telling you this right now. I don't care what you have. These people are patriots. Yes, sir.
And I'll tell everybody, the reason I joined the FBI is to help people and to protect people and to protect lives and property. And that's why we're here. We do not want anybody to get hurt. Everybody that joins the FBI, I think in the bottom of their heart, joins because they want to help people.
Let me speak to Lon Horiushi's replacement then. Who is he? Is that Lon Horiushi's replacement?
Then why'd you join the Marine Corps? It's the same thing. You're a patriot.
Answer my question.
And I don't know anything about that situation.
Is he Lon Horiushi's replacement?
I don't know anything about that situation.
There is a history there, and I want to make sure that we don't repeat that history.
Well, and like I said, as I said from the start, we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lon Horiushi, for those that don't know, Lon Horiushi was at Waco and Ruby Ridge, and he was the trigger man that put a bullet, and this is what we don't want. We don't want another Waco. We don't want any harm to anyone. We don't want any harm to your guys, to nobody. These guys are trespassers. I don't believe that they deserve to be shot. If I say be constitutional, I don't want this thunderhead. Dude, if you want to shoot me, put it right here. Here's your opportunity. Right here. You want to do it? I said be constitutional.
Right? Yeah, I said let's go back to what we've got in common. And let's talk about.
I'm very skilled in understanding what you're trying to do here. I just want you to also understand that the U.S. Constitution, I think if we can agree on this, okay? The U.S. Constitution is non-negotiable.
Well, like I said, I respect your position, and I honor.
You said we share something in common.
That's right.
There's only one thing that I care about. Is the U.S. Constitution negotiable?
And we take an oath to defend the Constitution as an FBI agent.
Yes, sir.
So.
Right, taking an oath. I took an oath. I didn't read the Constitution. You know that, right? As do most law enforcement people, from cover to cover. I didn't do it until later on in life.
And you swore to it when you joined the Marine Corps.
I swore to it and I didn't fully understand. And the reason why I'm here, and I'm so protective, especially of the men and women that are in the service right now, people in law enforcement who have sworn an oath and don't fully understand what that means. You understand what that means now, that oath. I'm going to ask you a question, and it should be very, very easy to answer. Is the U.S. Constitution to you guys negotiable?
I follow the Constitution.
Okay. Do you believe that we can negotiate anything in the U.S. Constitution from front to back?
I follow the Constitution. Now, I'm not a constitutional lawyer by no means.
Okay.
In fact, you may be more educated than I am, so I'll
Okay,
hear what you got to say.
as it relates to these land issues, let me tell you this, the good men and women, they are truly, I'm telling you this right now, if you met them, you guys haven't even been out there, if you met them, your surveillance cameras are going to give you this indication. These are truly some of our greatest patriots in the United States of America. Oh yes, absolutely. And they will never ever fire a shot, period. They will strictly defensively. The whole guns thing is gone. Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 17. Do you understand that portion, at least, of the Constitution as it relates to the land issues here? Do you understand it?
Well, you know, one thing I'll say about the Constitution is...
The answer is yes or no.
It gives us all the ability to disagree. So nobody owns the Constitution. It's all of our Constitution.
Right, but the land ownership is very specific. The U.S. government cannot own the land.
I know nothing about that.
Here, you want me to show it to you?
What I'm saying is, I don't know anything about the situation that you're talking about with the land.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about right here. And if everyone is miseducated, okay, uneducated about it, then that's the first discussion that needs to take place. Okay? There's no raids or anything like that. These guys actually will have you come over, break bread, sit down, and open it up. Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 17. It's black and white. The U.S. government can only own land in the 10 square miles, right, of Washington, D.C. Outside of that, requires the approval of Congress, the state legislature, and only for forts, ports, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings.
Well, you know, one thing I would say, you telling me at this level, maybe is that something, you know.
If you don't know this, and if you don't know this, okay, then this thunderhead over here is going to shoot somebody, not knowing that the other person just read Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph. How about if we all read that together, and then we don't need to shoot anyone?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
Welcome me. I'm not worried about me. I'm not going to shoot you.
You can read it to me.
You're going to shoot us. Yeah. Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 17. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, okay, not exceeding 10 square miles, as may be cession of particular states, okay, and the acceptance of Congress, okay, that means the state legislature and Congress must approve it as far as the ownership of land, all right, become the seat of the government of the United States and the exercise like authority over all places purchased by consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be. For, listen to this.
Here comes a judge.
For the erection of, specific purposes outside of the 10 square miles, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. Federal courthouses, post offices. Outside of that, the federal government doesn't own land.
Hey, Judge, can you come over here? Judge?
You want me to resolve this? You're a reasonable man.
Judge.
You want me to settle this right now?
Judge, can you get in here, please, Judge?
Well, let's turn this land over to the deed holder. Let's give it to the deed holder. Who's the deed holder? Is it the U.S. government? It's been obtained unconstitutionally. We can prove that right here. Okay? This is what it's all about. There is no desire whatsoever to shoot anyone. There is the desire to, you know, if guns are sexy in their own self-defense, we have a Second Amendment right, correct? Right?
Yep.
We do. To keep and bear arms. For their protection, they did that. They made it sexy in the public forum, but of course, 30 miles out, nobody's going to get harmed. Those guns are set aside. And you know what? This is the discussion we need to have. We can resolve this right now, okay? If you sit down with them, they'll turn the land over. Give the land. Let's give the land to the rightful deed owner, right? What do you think of that?
I think you guys have made a great record of this, and this will be seen by people who have the ability to make those decisions to go out and resolve this. And like I said, our purpose here is just to stand by for peace and safety.
Let me ask you this.
But we're not in a position to make those kinds of decisions at this point.
Let me ask you this. Are you covertly harassing, surveilling, monitoring, and even electronically? Are you doing that out of this trailer?
I don't know anything about that.
You don't? Can we go find out? You want me to go in there with you?
This is private property, so you can't go on this land.
How come it says U.S. government property, no
That's what I mean,
trespass?
it's government property. It's government? Yeah, you guys are more than happy to sit here and, and protest, but you can't enter the property.
Are you receiving information on your antennas, or are you actually broadcasting electronic information that's harmful to the public?
I'm not in a position that I'm not authorized to talk about anything to do with
the top secret
or anything like that.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to tell Loretta Lynch and Barack Obama that you need to stop doing your electronic warfare. Okay? It's inhumane what you've done. I already know this. By the way, I was in the military. I have a lot of people, good patriots like yourself, that have disclosed a lot of things. Okay? You guys are projecting electronics into the populace. I can show you Pentagon briefings, something called FunVac, using spraying to change the minds of the jihadists, to get them to sway away from radical Islam. They're employing it here in the United States of America. Do you know about that?
I don't.
You don't? Can you find out and come back here and tell us whether or not you're going to stop it?
Well, one thing, like I said, with the record that you guys are making of this, I'm sure that the people who need to know will see this.
The record right here is what we're talking about here. We have a Bill of Rights. Humanity has certain protections put in place, and we, with absolute determination, are coming here to tell you, stop it. Stop doing your frickin' job. Stop perpetrating psychological warfare on the American people. Please stop that. If you're given a command, to fire upon a patriot out there because they want to take a stand on the U.S. Constitution, disobey that order. Tell your boss, whoever it is that gives you that order, you know what, I'm not going to do that. These are good people. I've sworn an oath to defend and support the Constitution. Okay? Please do that. In favor of the people, in favor of the U.S. Constitution, stand down. Okay? Unplug. Dude, where's the other knucklehead that says he's not in charge? Hold on one second. You know what? Go kick the whatever trailer's putting out those frequencies. Go unplug it. Say this is wrong. I'm going to shut this thing down. I'm sick and tired of it. Do it covertly. Send your special operators in, so that nobody will be detected.
I've got a present for him. It's a copy of the U.S. Constitution for your pocket.
Thank you. I'll stick
It's
it
a
right.
good read.
I'll put it in my pocket. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I get your card?
Simplify.
Fine, right. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, we really do respect your position and coming out here and again, at this place, we're here to protect order and maintain safety, public safety, and the decisions aren't made at this place here. So
Right, that's our problem.
And that's
our problem. Cut off communications to the really bad people that want these guys dead.
But if somebody gives you an immoral order, you have an obligation to disobey an immoral order.
Disobey it. I mean, we're sincerely asking you for that because I tell you what, especially if you haven't gone and looked these guys in the beady eyes, if you haven't done that, I suggest you do so immediately.
What's the beady eyes?
The beady eyes.
Oh, beady eyes.
In the beady, look them in the
beady
beady. Connect with them. Understand what's at issue. Because this guy's ready to freaking just start spraying. You know what I mean? I said, be constitutional. He said, don't you threaten me. I don't want that type of adversarial relationship with, let's find out who the good patriots are. That guy's not.
Teaching the Constitution is not a threat. It's a law.
But you know what? The message I'm going to put out on my show very responsibly. I'm going to appeal to the good patriots on the inside. Okay? And I'm just going to ask you, let's all do the right thing, all of us. There's men and women in there. One lady had her children taken away. The FBI's involved in that. She was in there serving soup, dude. You're taking the kids. What's that all about? CPS is involved. The FBI is involved. People are being threatened not to say anything.
They're cleaning the place.
We live in the United States of America, guys. Come on, you know what I'm saying. You don't even need to respond to it because we're in front of the cameras. Just hear me.
What about the FBI threatening the Hammonds?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
They were. Frank Papagni, the FBI. This should not be taking place in the United States of America. Do you agree with that?
It needs to be investigated.
Do you agree that should not be taking place in the United States of America?
And one thing I would agree on, and I think,
the answer is yes or no.
Is nobody's
you know what? Seriously, I was in corporate America.
We can talk. Like I said, we can all disagree.
It's a yes or no question. Mm-hmm. Don't you agree that threatening and intimidation by the FBI upon any other human being, especially the elderly people that have been given the death sentence, that should not be taking place in the United States of America? The answer is yes or no.
Well, I would agree that that shouldn't happen, but I'm not going to agree that the FBI has been doing that. Does that make sense?
Okay. So maybe you're not aware.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's a fair answer. It's happening. That's why people are getting upset.
Yep.
This thing is escalating.
Will help us all
for months, guys. I don't know if you know this. For months, take note of this. We've literally exhausted. I've been personally involved in researching for months in advance. I contacted Frank Papagni, the U.S. Attorney's Office. I told the sheriff, push the pause button. There's too many anomalies. The FBI should have been in there saying, you know what, something's wrong here. People need to go to freaking jail. Based on what I saw, you guys are doing nothing. This entire thing escalated because Papagni wanted to prosecutorial misconduct. You guys should have that guy in cuffs. Can we go arrest that mother effer right now? Can we, all of us, sheriff, FBI, arrest Papagni? We've known about prosecutorial misconduct for months, begging them, don't take these people to jail. Push the pause button. Let's have full public hearings. This thing has escalated.
Can I give you that to read?
This thing has this literally, one of my main points.
It's an excellent
Absolutely. One of the reasons why it has escalated, the redress of grievances, not responded to. The issues about the anomalies in the case, not responded to. Nobody's investigating. What are we the people to do as a final course of action? Do something pretty radical, like taking over a bird sanctuary and getting the libtards pissed off, right? Point made, right? Now we have a discussion. Now who's going to be held to account? When are you guys going to start investigating on behalf of the Hammonds? They should not be in jail. Have you guys conducted an investigation, yes or no?
That is your main point, right?
Let me talk for a second. Hold on 1 second. Huh?
Sure.
That is, have you guys conducted an investigation on Frank Papagni?
The reason I'm here is basically We're here to protect order. We're not involved in that investigation at all.
We have, that's the overly, that's actually doubling. You know what? Tell the judge. I mean, that's really a wasted expense.
But again, like
we have people here to establish law and order, our local county sheriffs, and we don't need you guys establishing law and order. I don't feel safer with you guys here.
Well, one of the things is, you know, like I said, we've been here to listen to you, and all your grievances and everything that you've had to say will be seen by people above me who have those abilities to make decisions.
All right then, let's do this. For the purposes of documentation, how many of you guys believe that the county sheriff, as far as law and order and public safety, the county sheriff can do that job? How many of you believe that?
That's their job.
Okay. How many of you believe that the FBI right here is causing more fear in your hearts and soul and you feel less safe?
Speak up.
How many of you? How many of you here want a sheriff to come here as the highest law enforcement authority in this county and ask these guys to leave for public safety reasons?
Here.
How many of you see a county sheriff here in the local area? And this is no disrespect to you guys. We don't need you. You know, it's a wasted, you know, you guys don't need to be here. You can probably do your satellite.
Actually, history proves that when the FBI is anywhere on the scene, bad things happen.
Especially with the special operators that are doing bad things, you know?
Yeah, like I said, all of your concerns will be passed on to people, like I said, who are above us, who have those abilities to make.
Sir, I'm concerned, this is what I'm concerned about. I'm actually wanting and appreciate a conversation with you directly as a frontline guy. I want us to come together and turn
changing shapes was so persuasive, I'm beginning to feel insane. But I'm past that, and I'm back at this path I wanted to take. With that laugh, it's flashbacks, we never been one and the same. It's like this old routine, you're over me, I'm cold between the shoulders. You're holding me, you cope with me, we both keep growing older. And now we're confined to the same conversation. We always had it coming, we never had a chance. The rings on your finger, the blisters in my hands. We always had it coming, we never had a chance. The rings on your finger, the blisters on my hands.
Live in 7 minutes.
inside out, 'cause it's the best way to clean them. And I really wear socks, 'cause we don't really need them. I still destroy things when my anger gets a hold of me. Still deploy things when strangers try controlling me. I still manage to get lost in hip-hop. I still manage to crisscross with shit pops. I'm ill-mannered and pissed off when chicks talk it back to the corner and step on some lip gloss. Yeah, you catch me counting all the frogs, and I know they only jump because alcohol's involved. And I say what's on my mind, you're wasting your time if you're thinking I'ma speak with a caution. So I know the way I am. Sometimes I'm hard to handle, but that's alright because you're in my arms again, right where you belong. Connect the dots of my thoughts and I realize that I'm wrong. I focused hard again, with open arms again. I listen to these songs, it keeps me dreaming on. Please don't be scared to look in my eyes again. Just look in my eyes again. I'm a TV addict, that's the extent of my addiction. Unless wishers filled with ganja are considered as addictive. Although I have some friends who present their self-affliction, I never pop pills or use syringes, that's a gift.
On the 5 minutes ago, the show will broadcast live in 5.
Crisscross with shit pops. I'm ill-mannered and pissed off when chicks talk it back to the corner and slip on some lip gloss. Yeah, you catch me counting all the frogs, and I know they only jump because alcohol's involved. And I say what's on my mind, you're wasting your time if you're thinking I'ma speak with a cautious Joe. I know the way I am. Sometimes I'm hard to handle, but that's alright because you're in my arms again, right where you belong. Connect the dots with my thoughts and I realize that I'm wrong. I focus hard again, with open arms again. I listen to these songs, it keeps me dreaming on. Please don't be scared to look in my eyes again. Just look in my eyes again.
4 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. The countdown progresses. 4 minutes to
Be
go.
scared to look in my eyes again. Just look in my eyes again. You're in my arms again, right where you belong. Connect the dots with my thoughts and I realize that I'm wrong. I focused hard again with
Stand by. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go and counting. The Essential Show live in 3 minutes.
Please don't be scared to look in my eyes again. Just look in my eyes again. I had my fingertips pressed up against the glass, looking in at them. It's been this way since I was old enough to move too fast. I was stuck in my own ways, a little action, satisfaction. Let's keep it so that we don't crash. I had my fingertips pressed up against the glass, looking in at them. Oh no, 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 I really
Stand by. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go and counting. The Essential Show live in 2 minutes. All hands on deck.
no, 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 I really did it this time. We were young and dumb and full of love, and now so much different. She had a different way of making him look so bad.
young men. 1 minute to go.
Really did it this time. We were young and dumb, full of love. Now so much different. Oh no, no, no. I really did it this time. We were young and dumb, full of love.
Countdown. The show will arrive in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside a bunker in FEMA Region 5 in Cincinnati, Ohio, is your host, Pete Santilli. Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Where are our rights right now?
They're wherever you're willing to draw a line and say, you cannot come across this line or I'll kill you. That's where your rights are. And if you don't understand that, folks, then it's beyond my capability to explain it to you. They will get away with whatever you let them get away with. And until you draw the line and you're willing to die for what you believe in, they will keep taking and taking and taking and taking until there is no more to take. It's all gone, and you're a slave.
We the people are absolutely willing to stop the decimation of our country. The collapse is here. The elite are getting ready to head for their bunkers. It's time to arrest the ones who've overthrown our government and restore what has made us the greatest country on earth. It's time to use the Second Amendment for which it was intended. Tyranny hunting and communist overthrow. Live from the Overthrow Bunker in FEMA Region 5 in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm your host, Pete Santilli, and you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
Welcome to The Pete Santilli Show. The commentary and incitement you're about to hear is based on opinion, truth, and fact, and is meant to be used as an educational tool to fight the New World Order, the global elite, and the eugenics agenda. The Pete Santilli Show will never be censored by any corporation, and Mr. Santilli is certainly not beholden to the opinion of any of his sponsors. The opinions of his guests may not necessarily reflect the opinion of Mr. Santilli. Further, Mr. Santilli would like to urge his listeners to remain calm throughout the collapse, obey the Constitution, act lawfully, responsibly, and at their own risk of being brutalized by tyranny when taking any action after listening to the Pete Santilli Show. Also be advised, this program may contain adult content and parental discretion is strongly advised. It's time to throw away your chips and your Diet Cokes, so cling to your Bibles, grab your guns and your bug-out bags, and get ready for the Pete Santilli Show. Pete Santilli telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Bam.
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 Here we are. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sherry.
Everybody. What?
I wanted to say hi to Sherry.
Is she having you do dog tricks again?
No, she didn't even ask me.
No?
No, I just did it.
Okay. Hi, Sherry.
Hello, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Yep.
Hey, everybody in the best freaking chat room ever. Actually, you guys are doing a great job holding the fort down and self-maintaining. Yep. And, it's self-policing.
It is.
With the help of course, Ben and Scott and Dorian and the whole mod team. Thank you very much for setting an environment, by the way. Just remember this. It's our restaurant. Okay. Some people want to walk into our restaurant and poop in the middle of the floor.
Some of them
don't
do.
like that. We reserve the right to refuse service. Right. Okay. Yeah. Your First Amendment is still intact. You just go if you want to express your opinion to the point to where you actually stink up the entire room. Yep. We ask you to go out on the front curb.
Sure.
And protest it if you want, but do it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Which, you
and
can
if you
still
would
express yourself.
If you would like to protest, please send your protest to emilitia at thepetesantillishow.com.
That's right. Here's the rule in our YouTube channel. And it's actually very well established. We're self-governing, self-ruling.
We're we're a coalition of like-minded individuals that like to come together and enjoy the environment that we're in.
Yeah.
If you become not so enjoyable and you're a grumpy curmudgeon, and the reason why you have to sit on the internet and argue with everyone is because nobody will be around you in real life anyway.
Right.
Don't bring it to our chat room.
Don't bring it.
If you get banned, actually the mods are really good. They'll give you 1 or 2 warnings, and then if you just become so destructive to the point to where you can't get along with anybody, you're gone. Poof.
Yeah.
And you cannot appeal to us because we don't do the chat room stuff.
Yeah.
We're
It
way
doesn't.
too busy.
Yeah. We don't do that. We want everyone to know if you're in our chat room and you're listening to us, there are moderators there.
Yes.
And those moderators decide who stays and who goes. And if you get on their bad side,
That's right.
you cannot come to us because we are not
And
in control of that.
And by the way, if you call any one of them a tyrant Gestapo, they're actually fulfilling the overall request of us. Okay,
Yeah.
really, and also how they've developed a decorum in the chat room that makes it pleasant. So welcome, Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Okay, see, she didn't ask me to do that.
Right.
I
And
just
we
had
want
to
to
sneak one
remind
in.
everyone that we do have a T-shirt fundraiser happening right now.
We do. Did you put the link in the in today's description?
I have. You know what? I have not.
Okay.
I have not, but I will be doing that and putting it in there. So
We will.
I'll have that as a matter of fact by the next break. When the next break is over, I'll have all that up, and you'll be able to go over into the description and link to that.
Yeah, that's actually going to be a permanent thing. So permanent that we've already started ordering our hoodies and T-shirts, and
We ordered hoodies.
We're going to do that. Yes, we
did,
ordered
yeah.
hoodies.
I love the
We're
hoodies.
going to get them. So e-militia members, let's see. Blitz, just Blitz. What's up? Hi, I'm saying hello. That way I can shut this down because I get banned from